So this is probably another unboxing that I never thought I would actually have, but circumstances have changed because of just wanting to get another lightsaber, but this one had a specific meaning to it. Basically, this one is something I've been wanting to get for a while, and it really just strikes home to the childhood with this one. So basically, this will be my review of the Rebel Sabers Kensai, which is probably the first saber I've ever purchased from the Master line on Rebel Sabers. And this one's probably the most special to me because I remember watching Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when it hit theaters, and it was a crazy movie. And I even got the toy sabers, like the plastic ones, for like $10 that look like either Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon. I guess in my case, Obi-Wan from Episode 1, so when he was a Padawan or an apprentice. So it's really crazy how the movie came out, and it was all the craze and everything. And then over 20 years later, I finally got a chance to actually get that same saber, but a more upgraded version, something a little more stronger, a little more workable. So when you get a saber from the Master line, you get it in a case that looks like this. Very heavy duty, very strong, very protected. I think this applies to all Master line sabers, and it's pretty cool. On top of that, the case also has the logo. I'm not sure if you can see it regularly, but if you can see it regularly, then cool. If not, then it's probably backwards, but that's how it looks. And plus, I put my own sticker in there anyway, so that way I can kind of have like my own little, basically saying that this case belongs to me. You know what I mean? So when you get the case, you get these two not the kind of like a case with the combination locks on them, but luckily you don't need a combination or anything unless you want to. In that case, be careful with that. You get the case, you get the two buttons with a little sound of the case opening, kind of like a briefcase. And lo and behold, open it up, and basically it looks like this. And all of the extra padding, and the blade inside the saber, the tools, booklet, charging cable, pieces like Allen wrench key, two kinds of Allen wrench keys actually. Also the USB 2.0, so that way if you want to take out the SD card from the Saber, and if you either want to add or remove fonts from the Saber. So basically, you already have a crazy collection of Saber fonts in it, but with this, you can actually add some more. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, for sure, the stuff you get, depending on the saber, because certain sabers are different with the Master line sabers shit. You got the cable, a cool looking kind of Allen wrench kind of key, and basically it's like it got a handle on everything, so it's a lot easier to put on the retention screws. An acrylic saber stands you have for display kind of stuff, so it's like 3 pieces. Take out the film, and then you could just move the display if you wanted to. A booklet, basically giving you a chance to know what you have to do to charge it, but also know what to do when it comes to charging it for certain sabers, because certain sabers charge it one way, other sabers charge it a different way, and another one's just start for another way. So definitely read the instructions real carefully for the sabers, because sometimes some are different, sometimes they're easier or harder. So definitely read up on the instructions no matter which saber or Master line you get. Flash drive for a US SD card on the side slot. Allen wrench with pigeon screws, NeoPixel blade, or Xenopixel, whichever you prefer. And the thing itself, this is the Kensai, or better yet, the Star Wars Episode 1 saber from Kenobi when he was an apprentice. This saber has been my personal favorite for a long time. Oh, actually, another thing that it comes with for the Master Line sabers is also a blade plug. Basically, a plug to kind of keep your saber protected and away from dust and debris and stuff from the inside, which has the brass pins in there, so that way when they make contact, the NeoPixel saber lights up, or the blade itself. So great to have. Also, these little thumb retention screws, I actually got separately. I actually got it from an Etsy store that calls themselves the Kill Key Factory. It's really cool. They got a variety of stuff, or like little accessories here and there for your saber if you want to like have it covered up, or more saber blade plugs and all kinds of stuff. So it's really cool. Actually, this is their stuff. It's the name, Kill Key Factory, and they're directly from Etsy store. And I still got other thumb screws just in case for other sabers. So you get a variety of colors too, which is pretty cool. So if you like what you see, you might get some stuff. I'll put a link down in the description for a link to their Etsy store, and good stuff. So yeah, blade plug. Now with a saber. This is a beauty. Over 20 years later, after getting the toy version of this, all of a sudden, I get a chance to have it myself. It's pretty wild. Completely just like the movie. And also, with Rebel sabers and many other companies, Disneyland has a version of the saber which looks the exact same way, but it's actually kind of like a thicker, kind of chunky kind of saber. And for little kids, you can barely hold the saber at all. For adults, you can probably wrap around some easily. And with those, you're limited because they're mainly for like display purposes, replicas, or just to kind of be a collector kind of thing. However, with Rebel sabers, it's a much different story, because when they have the other sabers, like Anakin Skywalker's saber called the Heirloom, it's skinnier, so it's kind of like what they call the skinny flex, or in this case, the skinny Kensai. So even for a little kid, they can hold the saber very easily. They can grab all the way around. So perfectly good the whole way. But yeah, this thing is an absolute masterpiece of a saber. It's probably one of the coolest sabers ever. What's really trippy is that compared to most sabers, we kind of have to press down on the button to actually make it click certain flashes on the button to do certain functions and stuff. Instead of pressing all the way down kind of thing, this actually has a click. So it's actually just, since you press gently, it actually clicks on, and it's pretty nice. And the profit board for the Xenopixel on this saber compared to my other saber, it's a little more refined with the sounds, certain variety of stuff, and it actually gives you the names of the saber effects compared to the regular Xenopixel upgrade you can get for any saber. This version of it is much more straightforward, because the saber effects, they actually tells you the name of each and every saber effect. That's pretty helpful, so that way you can kind of know like which one to work with in case you want to do like a certain way of this way kind of thing. And just with this, like the saber, with the recent upgrade to SD cards for all sabers of Xenopixel, this one has all the fonts just like the other one, And there's one extra font that threw me off, but it's like, okay, sure, why not? So when you hear this, when you hear the font, you see what I mean. So, but also activation and cycling through Saber effects and stuff, it has like a almost like a control console kind of sound before the voice tells you either um, different Saber effects, all kind of stuff. So even when you turn it on, same way. So like this. Power on. So I mean, how almost like console kind of sound with it. And because Xenopixel, obviously just like the other ones, it has gesture control. Very easily. The cool thing is about this one, besides the pins, there's also little slabs of like LED lights inside the hilt itself, so you actually can tell what color the blade is, or was supposed to be, when you actually put on the NeoPixel blade onto the pins to make contact. So for the other ones, you only see the pins, but for the Master Line Sabers, you actually can see inside, and it's bright, but not too bright, like the blinding kind of like crazy LED flashlights, or like the RGB baseless Sabers, where if you look directly in the Saber, when you turn it on, it's powerful as hell, and basically it'll basically make you not completely blind, but it'll kind of hurt. So with this, you can see it, but you won't be completely blinded, so it's like it's much safer. And I tried doing that, using that kind of method by putting a regular blade that's hollow into it to see if I could be actually really dual wield with it, and it worked, but the light was kind of dim, like really dim, because I thought the LEDs inside would actually help me out. Um, Turns out it doesn't really work out that well, so it was worth a shot. So yeah, when you look inside, you can see it, but it's not like blinding bright, so a little easier. So for the most part, cycle through the sound fonts, put the blade on real quick, and go the whole way with just going through all the sound fonts, including the extra one. And actually, the cool thing is about the kill key thumb screws, instead of using an Allen key to put in the grub screws bit by bit because they're so small and you have to kind of like screw them in, these already have the threading in there, so you could just put them in, thread them in with your thumb, and you're set, which I really love, because when you need grub screws and you have Allen keys and you lose one or the other, you're screwed. So the thumb screws from the Kill Key Factory, I love it. It's like a great investment for me. So put it in, put in the thumb screws. I do the thumb screws because you literally do it with your finger and thumb. So it's very helpful. Nice and tight, not too tight. And here we go. Of course, with the Sabers, it starts with Kylo Ren's Saber, with Kylo Ren's sound font actually, and Keller and Saber effect. Of course, I switched it to this one because one, I love green. It's my color of my soul, my favorite color, period. And two, Ascension, the Ascension sound font, it's the coolest one that I think sounds to me. So to this day, for all the Sabers that I've ever had, this is the best one to me. Love the sound font. So. Oh, there's another thing. I actually figured out that you can't actually do the blade drag kind of thing on the Xenopixels, just like the NeoPixel, except without actually the blade touching the floor to actually do it when you press a certain button and a certain amount of time of the wait. You can actually, when you turn this on, just press and hold the button and then let it blink once and then let go, and then the blade drag will actually be able to see it, and you're able to see it perfectly. So. It'll look white right there, but just for the sound font. So, and then of course for the Saber Clash. So, yeah, I figured that out. So if anyone wants to do the Saber drag with the Xenopixels, that's how you do it. Okay, so just like the other Xeno one, cycle through the fonts and see what the new one is.
Rey Skywalker. Final steps. Luke Skywalker. Codex of Light.
When I get to a certain font.
Cyber Terror.
Well, that's another cool thing. Some sound fonts have its own little unique kind of exiting, like when you turn the ignition switch, right when the Saber goes down instead of going out. Nice little cool effect that kind of gives a certain sound fonts. So you turn it on, got like a pulse mode. When you turn it off, it just goes slowly down all the way to the end. That's pretty cool. Nice little dramatic effect. So keep going.
Dark Ages. Hatred. Idol. Serenity. The Champion. The Dark Lord Revisited. The Learner. The Second. The Teacher.
Actually, just real quick before I get to the special font, I want to show exactly when doing certain Saber effects, it actually tells you. So.
Rainbow Blade.
Not sure if the camera can see it, but pretty standard.
Candy Blade.
So the previous one, I think it was Neopixel or Xenopixel, you had two kinds of rainbow blades. Now you actually have different names. So you got Rainbow Blade and now Candy Blade, which is just the faster version of the Rainbow Blade.
Unstable. Unstable.
Oh, this one's a new one actually. It's a new kind of unstable font. So if you look real closely, there's like little white sparks that go from different parts of the blade. Kind of like a cool little thing. It's like semi-unstable, but with like its own little kind of unique thing. So definitely a new one for the Xenopixel Sabers that come from the Master Line Sabers. Next one.
Fire Blade.
That's the coolest one actually. I love the Fire Blade. Back to steady. Now let's see how it goes for the other ones. This one actually tells you the ones for the real Crazy Saber effects.
Blaster Blade.
Wait, didn't you Saber's a blaster?
Ghost Blade.
If you remember for the previous videos, you know how this one works.
Broken Ignition.
Now this is where it actually tells you the name of each of the Saber effects, or the ignition effects, basically. Next one.
Stack Ignition.
That's pretty cool. Even for the exit.
Photon
This should be more like a stacks one, but oh well.
Warp ignition.
Pretty cool.
Phaser ignition.
Kind of reminds me of the seismic charge from Jango Fett's Slave 1 ship. Crazy one. Think might be back to regular. Yeah. So, now to get to the secret font.
Whispers of power.
This is the weird one. I'm not sure if it's all Saber Master Line Sabers that have this, but if it is true, then so if anybody is a fan of Sailor Moon, you might know these sounds. That's a weird sound for a Saber Clash, but okay. A little sparkle at the end. So, if anybody's a fan of Sailor Moon, but also Star Wars at the same time, you can get that sound font already in there when you get a Master Line Saber. So, pretty crazy.
Kylo Ren.
So, going back to my regular sound font, the one that my personal favorite.
The dark sword.
There's a cunning warrior.
You were the chosen one.
And he was a good friend.
You were my brother.
Volume 5. Volume low.
I loved you.
Actually, real quick,
The dark sword.
for anybody who's gonna watch the Kenobi show just like me for this Friday, but also every Wednesday for a new episode.
There's a cunning warrior.
You were the chosen one.
And he was a good friend.
You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
If you know, then you know. Can't wait for the Kenobi show.
Have another course. Then Solo.
Oh, another cool thing that for certain Master Sabers might have compared to most, instead of a 5V to USB cable to charge it up, if you have a recharge port, this one comes with a Type-C type of plug-in. So the cool thing is, most phones, Android phones, take the same kind of plugs, so nice to have that handy just in case. Because so far, every other Saber I've ever known uses a 5V type cable, basically a round circular plug to kind of plug into the spot. This one takes Type-C, so a lot better for charge when it comes to actually charging it faster, and it's a little more accessible, so it's pretty cool. So the same cable to charge up your phone for Android phones, you charge up this Saber too, so nice to have that as like a backup kind of thing.
You will take the throne.
I've become more powerful than any Jedi.
Hello there.
Also for Kenobi, I guess it would be kind of appropriate to kind of have Kenobi's saber from episode 1 with a blue blade, since that has always been his color of choice. But in my hands, it's a different story.
The General, to me she's royalty. 300 years ago, I found your empire. Vader can't stop me now.
And back to my favorite sound font, Ascension. So, pretty cool saber. My personal favorite ever since I was little, and now I have the full scale version of it in my possession. It's pretty wild. So, the cool thing is, just take it off easily. Put back the rubber guard to protect the plate for the Xenopixel blade. And then, actually protect this saber, have thumb screws out, blade plug, drop it in, and then tighten the thumb screws. So now, even when you turn it on, it's safe for people to actually see it without that kind of blinding effect kind of thing. So, actually, see if we did it right. No, I did it wrong. Right there. Yeah, I did it right. Okay. I forgot, it goes pretty deep in there. So, because it's got like a deep slot for the blade, it'd be much better to kind of wield for light strikes, but not heavy strikes. But of course, if I wanted to try like make it go like the whole way of being like a dual saber, I could either put a regular blade and just kind of not worry about the dim part, or I can get a day blade but still turn it on, so I could just put the day blade in there, screw it in, and I can pretend I'm actually have the blue or green saber in daylight, the hollow blades, and actually fight with the sabers. So give me some options. So yeah, when perfectly the blade plug put in there with screws, there. Now you can see it without blinding you. The cool thing is, the case is also, besides all the tools and stuff, it's actually got slots for 2 sabers and 2 blades. So it's really convenient in case you want to do like a double saber kind of packing thing, or even put like a charger and stuff inside to keep everything ready to go. So it's pretty nice. All the way. Close it. And back in the case. Completely protected. So, thanks for watching, and I'll put links in the description for the Rebel Sabers website and the Kill Key Factory Etsy shops. So, definitely click on both if you want the saber, the thumb screw, other stuff, or both. Your preference. So, thanks for watching, and see what happens next.